I forgot to press description, but here we are, and we're
Well,
ready to
here
go.
we are. The bus has left the station, and we can edit later because live is live. Ladies, and gentleman who are watching at the moment. And we are ready to get to connect with you, the viewer. And we want to give more solutions for waking up women leaders. Sure, we have plenty from our history of working with our clients over the last couple decades. And you watching, you're the one that we're here to help. And we have an exciting announcement to make to that end, right, Nettie?
Yes, I actually think our start to this was kind of exactly the point of what we're doing, which is we are going to be coaching women leaders live on Wake Up Women Leaders. And whatever happens live happens. So that's kind of the reality that we're looking
Yeah.
forward to. And we want to include you. So this show today is all about why we decided to make this shift and to start inviting some folks on. What that's going to look like if you come and join us as a guest and to be coached, and how to raise your hand to do that. So let's get started because I really want to make sure that we can support as many women leaders as possible. And I think this is a really good way to do it.
Yeah. Yeah. This is a really exciting opportunity to, well, for us to get to connect with you, our viewers and listeners. And this is also a really exciting opportunity for those of you who have been listening and enjoying the podcast. And you have more questions, more curiosities of your own story that you're working through, and we want to help you do that. And this is on the house. Nettie and I are top of the line premium coaches. And so to get to have the both of us focused on you getting clarity for the price of public exposure, I think is really, really exciting. And I know for me, when I listen to other podcasts and I get to listen to people work through things, it helps me almost as if I'm being coached as the listener. It's so much more intimate and digestible for me
Mm.
personally, uh, listening in episodes like that. What do you think, Nettie?
Yeah, I love to listen when a coach brings on someone who is working through a real challenge or problem. I honestly always find a way to see myself in what they're sharing, even if it's not an exact alignment. There's something about that realness that they bring that I can notice the challenge and go, how is this working out in my business and my life? And probably one of my favorite people to do this is Rachel Rogers. She often will play recorded uh, clips of coaching from her events, or even having times where she brings people on her podcast. And I've always gotten so much out of those episodes that feels, it doesn't just feel real, it is the real honest solution to whatever that person is bringing as their challenge, not some sugar coated or heavily researched or answer to what's coming up for that person, which I do think that there's a point and a value for that. But sometimes when you've got something coming up immediately, you really want to be able to go, who's been through this, and what do we need to do to get ourselves around from that. Coaching's a great format for getting those kinds of answers, especially for women who are much more likely to be giving the support than asking for the support. Which brings us to why we are even putting this forward as an option. And before we answer that question, I just want to really quickly let you know, if this is the first time that you're coming on to Wake Up Women Leaders, it's episode 20. We've been doing this now 20 times. We just thought that this would be a great time, to introduce this new idea. I'm Nettie Owens. I am an executive coach, and I help women who are in leadership, like the C-suite, or who have their own company that they're leading, to be able to do that in a way that works for them, to create their own system of success based on their own strengths. I've been doing this now since 2004, and I love it. I love being able to support women in this way, and creating those systems and processes that are not just cookie cutter, but designed for you. Really just lights me up seeing people have that new awareness, that aha, etc., in a way that solves the problems that they're working through. It just keeps me going each day that I work with women. And Victoria, would you like to let folks know, why are you the best coach for the people that are listening, thinking, yeah, I think I might want to do this?
Yeah, well, I'm especially good for those of you who are energy sensitive, passionate, and creative in your approach to leadership. Sensei Victoria Whitfield, sensei in Japanese means teacher, so I never forget my background as a teacher, as well as where I got my title as a Reiki master teacher, otherwise known as a Reiki sensei. So, and I'm also the founder of strategicmeditation.com, where I, as a high performance coach, help impact driven entrepreneurs and leaders to get and stay grounded and clear in their mind, body, and business by implementing strategic meditation lifestyle practices, merging that with their business to increase their income and impact. So, and I've been doing this since 2011. So, to take a walk down memory lane. And so I bring the energy, and Nettie brings the systems and organization. So the two of us are a great tag team to support women leaders. Yes, all leaders. I love my men too. Plenty of my clients are men. And this podcast is specifically dedicated to waking up women in leadership. What we've seen since we've begun this podcast, and what inspired us to begin it, was women in leadership who were sidestepping responsibilities, sidestepping opportunities to really step in and claim their power, kind of hot potatoing
Mhm.
things onto other people, or not caring about things being clean and organized, or not prioritizing their own well-being and their energetic state and mindset. And unfortunately, the communities that they gather and are put as the leader of suffer disorganization, low morale, frustration, lack of direction and vision, as well as lack of influence and impact. And we want to see more of that in the world. That's why we started this podcast, to put our voices out there and be a force for positive change in that respect. And what we've also seen is, by the way, and Nettie, you could get into this, is that we both have had podcasts before,
Mhm.
and we've been guests on many podcasts, books and anthologies and things like that. And I know for myself, as a podcast host, I've done the thing where I bring someone on as a guest to interview them. And I've also done the thing where I bring someone on to coach them live. And what I've found is my feedback from my listeners, as well as my own experience looking back over the catalog of content that I've produced, is that the most engaged episodes I've ever done on my former podcast was when I would bring someone on and coach them. And unfortunately, the engagement for interviewing others was when it would go down. Perhaps it would feel a little bit more promotional. I'm promo positive, like bring it on. I love everybody. There's abundance to go around, but at the same time, I want to stay sensitive to my viewers and listeners as an audience, what their desires are. What about you, Nettie? What have you seen?
Um, a similar kind of experience. I have really truly enjoyed interviewing people and elevating people on my podcast, learning what they do, hearing their insights, sharing, their knowledge. Had a great series through the pandemic, what businesses need to know right now, which then turned into 2 books, which are available on all of the learning and lessons that came from those interviews. But we wanted to do something different. And uh, since we started this podcast, we have had folks come up and say, "Hey, if you're looking for guests, I'm open. I'm interested in being a guest on your podcast." And we really seriously considered what would a guest look like for this podcast and for what we're creating here. And every week we come with a topic that we want to share with you, and then we just have a conversation about that topic. And so uh, bringing somebody in who was either an expert in that particular area, or who has a business or something aligned with that area, it didn't feel quite aligned with what we are trying to do here in this podcast, with really that core desire to wake women leaders up. Victoria talked about what inspired us to do this in the first place, and having those experiences of women who were kind of just in a daze, walking through a fog, lacking clarity, missing out opportunities to be decisive, and not stepping in to the opportunities to make more impact. So alongside this, we've also, come up with our tagline, which we'll be sharing out, and our cover art and all of that kind of stuff. You've been watching us grow. And this is really just the next evolution of that. But the idea that we could bring somebody in and help them in the moment, and that help could wake other women leaders up. It just seemed like that was the natural fit for what we are doing with this particular podcast. So with that, I wanted to talk a little bit about, like, what is a good problem to bring to coaching in a format like this? Because it is, you may be sitting here thinking, like, I don't know that I want to be coached live on air. That's really vulnerable. Yeah, so you're not wrong. It's something that you need to be able to bring a real problem that you are really facing, not something that's hypothetical, but something you would be willing to share. So if it is too new, too fresh, um, uh, too intimate, then we are not asking people to expose those parts of themselves publicly and then have the fallout from that. So, you need to be ready and willing to share the challenges that you're facing. That being said, um, in the last couple of years, I started sharing things publicly that I thought I would only ever have private conversations about. And in doing so, I found so much support. Some of those things were my experience with perimenopause and the real struggle that I have gone through in that phase of my life, how it impacted my business. I've shared publicly about my experience with the EIDL loan post COVID and the impact on my business, and debt and things like that. And in the past, I would have said that those topics were not things that I would want to bring to a live conversation. But I started opening up about it and actually found a ton of support, and also found other women saying, "Oh my gosh, I'm so glad you talked about that. I've been trying to figure out a solution and nobody I know is going through it. And so now that you've said it, I know that I can find resources for that. So while I want you to be judicious about what you feel you're ready to bring to a coaching session um, in this format. Also understand that if you're open to it, bringing something that you're really challenged with right now can actually benefit not you, but many people around you and be a positive experience.
Yeah. And that's the point. The title of the podcast is Wake Up Women Leaders. So we want you to get to witness a woman leader waking up, right? Perhaps vicariously, you will also, and all our audience members will also be able to wake up with her. And so when you choose what you want to bring to coaching, think to yourself, ask yourself, where am I asleep at the wheel in my career,
Mhm.
in my business? Where am I avoiding being powerful? What does that look like for me? And honestly, you can journal that in the
Mhm.
comments below, or to yourself, or in a DM to the both of us. And if there are things that you want coaching from us for, but you don't feel comfortable going public, that's fine. Just hit the word connect and we'll connect to do that one-on-one privately, or two-on-one rather, privately with you. Right, because we're coaches anyway. But for the bounds of the podcast, that's again, we want what would be more in alignment is for our audience to witness women leaders waking up, rather than hearing more women giving advice or expertise or things about what waking up could be. No, no, no. We want you to see it happen so that you get that attunement in your bones of like, ooh, this is possible. Oh, this is what it looks like. We want you to
Mm.
witness it happening live, which is so powerful. That's not for nothing why we love being coaches, is witnessing that awakening as well. And
Mhm.
um to on that note, we want to also look at what can you expect when you come for live coaching. Is it just like you hop on Zoom and then bam, you're live? No. So there's gonna be time beforehand, set like where we set aside a good chunk of time before and after. So 30 minutes before, 30 minutes after, in addition to our 30 minutes recording. And the sessions, although they will be broadcast live, they will not be recorded live. And this is to respect and honor whatever may come up during the coaching session. And of course, you will get your coaching, but it's not going to be live streamed as you're receiving it, just in case you have quite an aha moment that on second thought, actually you wanted to keep that private. We want to give that extra barrier of respect, privacy, and protection around you so that you feel good about it. And do you have to come looking stage ready and have perfect studio lighting? No. No, the more that you are yourself, the better. The more relatable you'll be. Like, you don't have to have everything perfect. You just need to be present. What would you say, Nettie?
I think you've hit a lot of the high points here about what to expect in the session, what to expect ahead of the session. We are going to ask you some questions just so that we understand, and even so that we can make sure that what you're bringing is going to be a good fit for this. So we desire this to be a positive experience all around. There will be no catches. There'll be no like, you know,
Gotcha.
this is not the Jerry Springer show. Like, we're not going to do something that would that would make you feel embarrassed. In fact, the more we can elevate you, the better this experience is going to be for you, us, and the folks watching. So just understand that we're not trying to catch you. in a dramatic moment. In fact, I've been on, I've been on TV as the professional organizer with a hoarded situation on Hoarding Buried Alive. And really, they were looking for that drama. We actually believe that what you're going through is dramatic enough. No embellishment needed. And so we, saying that, we do have some safeguards in place, including asking some questions ahead of time so that we understand your situation. Um, like I said, we're going to broadcast live, but the recording will be done ahead of time, just for that double check. This happens on quote unquote live TV all the time with a multi-second delay. We'll have a little bit more than a multi-second delay, but that will be in place. And then afterwards, once we're done recording, we're going to talk to you about your experience, so that you have a full container to have that experience in and not be left going, oh, okay, that was great, but now I've got questions or whatever. We're here to support you fully in this, in what we're doing here. Some things, if you're thinking about this, I mean, we've talked about what kinds of topics we typically discuss here, but things that are going to be a good coaching topic answer that question, that the two questions that we put down, where are you asleep at the wheel? Where are you avoiding being powerful? Where are you feeling stuck? Those questions can help elicit the answer, but oftentimes, it has to do with the same things that we've discussed so far. It might be on sales, money management, events or offers or launches that you're doing, confidence, the systems and processes that you have for yourself or in your business, well-being, imposter syndrome. Like, many times these are kind of the larger topic headings that end up coming in through coaching. Communication is actually another one that I see a lot, especially for women. Leadership, just what does your leadership identity look like? Who are you as a leader? Is that who you are in all aspects of your life, or is it just in your work world, or in your maybe even volunteering world? So, hopefully that gives you a little bit to think about. Maybe that's jogged an idea about something that you have a question about and that you'd like some support on. As if you're hearing this and you're thinking, okay, think I have all the information I need. I'm ready to say yes. I'm ready to raise my hand. How do I do that? It's pretty simple. We just ask you that, just like you have in the past, that you would type in the comments below, coach, okay, coach, and that will let us know that you would like to be contacted, or you can DM either one of us or both of us together and just let us know, and we will then take it from there. So we're not, just note that you will not find a link below to like sign up for coaching. We need you to reach out directly and say, hey, this is what I want, I'm in. And then we will follow up with the other steps. That way we get the chance to make sure that we get you, and not a facsimile of you in the form of a bot or something else, that is not, that's just going to waste our time and others as well. So if you're interested, we would love to have that conversation with you. Just type coach in the comments, or DM one or both of us and say, hey, I'm interested in this, and we will take the next steps with you.
Yeah. And we're looking forward to it. Where you DM us, by the way, is on LinkedIn. LinkedIn. I
Yes.
know this streams across multiple platforms, but where you want to find us, if you don't want to comment coach below, or where we will find you when you
Mhm.
comment coach below, is on LinkedIn, so that we can set that up. We're taking a decidedly human, high touch approach. Even though both of us use automations and AI, plenty of that in our businesses, we want to keep this high vibration, high quality, high touch, and human in the way that we approach it so that you continue to get the best experience and content possible. Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. Actually, didn't you have a word for that? I feel like you had a word for that. Oh,
I
for the
believe you're
authenticity.
right.
Yeah.
I don't know what the word is, but you are absolutely right. I
Okay.
must have.
I wrote it down because I take notes or I forget. And so we want to avoid maximum complication. That is
Yes! Thank you. Thank you. I received the credit for that. Complification. And I know people who are excellent at complicating and a little bit of over designing, and absolutely taking the maximalist approach from step one with the AI and the automation and stuff. Baby, I'm about do it dirty. Like, let's go. Speed of implementation. How fast can we get connected? How fast can we move forward? And then we can innovate and iterate later on. So instead of calling it com- complicated, complicating, I think is a more appropriate word to describe that wonderful creative state people take.
if you're not watching us live, you should know that Victoria is dipping her glasses down and looking over the top of them when she says these things about maximum complication. So we're avoiding that today, and we want it so simple. Just reach out. We will take the next steps with you. We want you to feel loved and cared for and surrounded in every step of this so that it is truly a great experience for you and for us in this time together. Because
Oh,
what you may not know is that coaching as a coach, it's actually a very vulnerable position as well, because you're you are problem solving and thinking on the fly, trying to support the person across from you to kind of keep them in this very sacred container through the questions that you ask, through the insights that you notice. So we are saying that we are willing to also do this and be vulnerable and show you what that looks like. Um, Alongside, right? So you may not have that awareness of the experience of a coach, or maybe you do because you're a coach as well, and so you can appreciate that. But it's vulnerability, for everyone, for a purpose, to help bring about this breakthrough.
yeah, normalize it.
Mhm.
Normalize it. Being vulnerable, being innovative, being open to receiving support as a leader. That's no small feat. And
Mhm.
I got a sudden download
Yeah.
about about a minute ago. If anyone's watching, listening in, and you desire to nominate someone for coaching, go ahead and @tag them in the comments below to nominate them, or forward this video over them and say, I would like to nominate you. Can I reach out to Nettie and Victoria and connect you with them? Because we would love to connect with people, with women who, yes, people, and specifically women that um, you, as our viewers and listeners, feel this would be amazing and timely for.
Mhm.
So we're sharing all of this in this episode to let you know that this is what's coming in the pipeline, and we turn it over to you to see who would love to step on up and receive the live coaching. And our regularly scheduled programming will continue next week. Nettie, do
Yeah.
tell.
Well, next week we are talking about in episode 21 of Wake Up Women Leaders how to build a business that makes money on purpose. not money on accident. Like, not, oh my gosh, I did this thing and look, whoop, money came along, but really intentionally designing your business to make money. Or if you're in leadership, being very intentional to keep your money and budget um, in line, on track, knowing where those dollars are coming from, and purposefully growing, scaling the work that you're doing.
Alrighty, everyone. So we'll see you next Wednesday at 3:30. And we're sending lots of love and looking forward to your responses. Mwah. We'll see you in the next one. Bye for now. Bye, everyone.